What is up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to Sooner Surge Softball Edition for a little Softball Live. It's been a while since we've been on here with the softball fan base and just an elite fan base that the University of Oklahoma has. And we're about 17 days away, I think, from February 8th, where OU opens up against Utah Valley and Puerto Vallarta tournament. We'll see what happens. Big news today, though. JT Gasso. Yep. Promoted to associate head coach.
Well deserved. I mean,
deserves
not like he wasn't already doing enough, but now he's associate head coach. I think we all know down the road, obviously, he's going to be, when Patty does decide to hang it up, JT will be the first call, I would imagine. But they've just been dominant with him as a hitting coach and everything. So excited to see this for him.
Yeah, well, ever since he got hired, I believe they've had an average of 350, I saw, which is absolutely incredible. 350 hitting in softball or baseball to do as a single player is incredible, but that they're able to do it as a team. JT Gasso, man, you deserve all the praise for that.
What's up, Brian? Well deserved for him indeed. That's right. And look, as the season is getting closer and closer, there's really not a lot of question marks on this team, guys. This is a year where you pretty much know what to expect, and that's championships and being the national champion again for now a record-breaking. It would be a fourth year in a row, never been done before. But obviously the one question mark lurking, is the shortstop position.
I don't know if it's a question mark as it more is, what are they going to do there? I see what you're saying.
That's a question, Jay. That's a question.
Yeah, it's not a question mark as in you're worried about that position performing. I don't think
I said I'm worried about it.
I think it's who's going to be that position. And I think probably I'd love to hear what the viewers think, but I'd probably say I'm leaning toward being Brito. I think Brito's probably going to get that nod at shortstop. That's my opinion.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. I do. And then I also think that they're going to play Alina Torres at third base.
And I think
with Torres too.
And that's where I think the issue is Torres they're going to want to keep her on the field, and you could do that by putting her at third. Brian's asking how's Avery Hodge not a lock? I think it has to do probably with her bat. That would be the only thing. I think by far and away, I think Avery Hodge is the best defender at shortstop. I think also with her speed on the bases, and I'm not saying I'm sitting here saying I would be shocked if she's the starting shortstop. I just think they're leaning towards Brito. That's my opinion, but I don't think she's a lock at all.
That's right.
Go ahead, Jackson.
Oh, well, I was going to say, whenever I look at a player like Avery Hodge, I see her being used in more of like a situational aspect in certain games, right, where maybe you don't need maybe as much of offense because you're not playing maybe as good of a team, or it's not a big-time game, and you want to give Avery Hodge some run. So maybe you start her at shortstop in a game like that.
Well, look, Patty Gasso herself, the Go herself has talked about that there are, and as Brian says, the possibilities are almost endless. There are so many possibilities. Patty Gasso is not going to sacrifice and I don't even, this sounds bad, guys. She's not going to settle for someone who maybe can't provide both. There's enough talent there where someone can provide good defense and good hitting. And if you lack in one of those, I think Coach Gasso is going to go elsewhere.
There's too many good players on this roster. Exactly. And when you look at Torres, she's not just a run-of-the-mill third baseman. She's a really good defender at third base. So I don't think you're having issues playing her at third if you need to. Now, I don't think Tiare Jennings will move to short. I've heard some rumors. I don't think that'll happen. I think she's going to be your second baseman, and I don't think it's going to change. So that would be my guess. And, I mean, we can move it. I mean, if you look at the whole lineup in general, they're almost all, I would almost say, Brian says locks. Almost all the positions are locks, except maybe two. Would you guys agree?
I mean, yeah, let's just roll through it, Jay. Catcher's a lock. It's Kenzie Hansen. First baseman.
Sydney Sanders.
Although I will say, obviously she was injured and wasn't really around in the fall battle series, but I would say she's clearly a lock at first. Second baseman, you got Jennings. Shortstop is a question. Third base, it depends. But then the outfield is Boone, Jada Coleman, and then the other spot I think that people would say maybe an open position.
Who do you think in right field is going to start first game?
I think it's Hannah Core.
I would agree.
Jeremy, yeah.
I would agree with you. I don't think – look what she did in the battle series. I don't think you can keep her off the field.
If it's not Hannah Core, Cassidy Pickering.
Well, I think as the EH, you go Cassidy Pickering.
Yeah, I would say Pickering's going to start as your extra hitter. Now, I will say this. If they do want to give Kinsey Hansen a break sometimes, she can play first base. She did it early on in her career at OU.
But I think they would just put her as an extra hitter if they did that.
They might, but they may, have some fun with it too. I'm just saying, get Ludlam in there at catcher some games. And I think the other question is the pitching room, how that's going to look, what that's going to like. What is their mindset? What is Gasso's strategy going into this year?
Yeah, Brian says Cassidy Pickering must be in the lineup with those home runs. I agree. Hannah Core and Cassidy Pickering watching the battle series, it's going to be tough to keep them out of the lineup with their bats. I mean, unbelievable. Both of them had unbelievable battle series. So it'll be tough to keep them out. And you mentioned pitching, Jeremy. I kind of feel like Kelly Maxwell, this is weird to say, but I don't know if she's been given the hype that I think she might deserve. I maybe it's because she's coming from OSU, but I think
I agree.
But I do at the same time think that Nicole May, I think this is her year to be kind of the one in the big time game you need. I think Nicole May take that next step this year. That's
right.
my opinion.
And I think last year something we talked about a lot, especially whenever we would just talk about every single softball game, there was a post game or a pregame, is the endless possibilities that Patty Gasso had with the lineup offensively. Now you talk about the endless possibilities she has with moving so many pieces around defensively and offensively. It's like, I think we may see 30 or 40 different lineups throughout the whole season. Like, I think that there's a chance of
possibly,
just because there's so much versatility with so many players on this team.
Yeah, and Sydney, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being on here. We agree with you there. There's no way Patty Gasso is going to play Hodge if her stick is weak when Patty Gasso's got an entire room full of hitters that can also defend. Just not going to do that. And Brian mentions Kirsten Deal. Look, it's very hard. If you want to know about Kirsten Deal, I think you got to go to last year, not battle series. And that's really, I think even a lot of these is the battle series was elite competition in the box. I mean, with the hitters that OU has out there. But when I asked what the strategy is going to be, Brian, what I was meaning is the strategy from Gasso on the staff. Is it going to be where, this lady gets the ball this game and she goes the whole game? Is it going to be something where each pitcher goes 2 innings, at least until you get further down the road in the season? I don't know. I think that's something to watch early on in the Portrait Later tournament.
I think they're going to use them all. And I think kind of like she did last year at the end of the season, she kind of rode Jordy Ball because Jordy Ball was very hot. And maybe that's what you do this year. They're all capable of throwing great games. So I don't think that's an issue. And you got to, at some point, get Deal, Garrett, some of these, some run out there. I agree. Sydney Core will start right.
I agree.
Here's the one I'm questioning is coming off of injury, Keeney. I think Keeney is really good, really talented pitcher. Haven't seen her yet at OU because of the injury during battle series, but I think she's really good. I mean, she pitched a gem at Liberty against Oklahoma. So they got 6 quality pitchers. Now, how they use them, I'm interested to see. Will Patty, do you think Patty even considers going with a closer like baseball?
Hey, Jackson, I want your thoughts on this too, because what Brian says here, look, I'm a big Kansas City Royals fan. Jay is too. When they won the World Series, the starter went 5 or 6, and then they had
baseball has went to that. Baseball has went to that.
I know. They had a guy in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. With the 6 kind of a 6 staff rotation here. You could go 3 pitchers this night, the next 3 the next night, the first 3 the next night, and almost change it like that, where the pitcher's going every other night if you're in a 3-game set or something. But I think that would be an option. Now, score is going to dictate some because, listen, OU's riding a 53-game winning streak. OU wants to win every single game they play. So that will dictate a lot of the decisions. But, yeah, they got so many options.
That's right. And, I think that Patty Gasso, she might not even know what she's going to do until she see how all of our players are going to perform during the season on the mound. Because, right, some players, whenever you get to a stage like Oklahoma, the pressure builds. And there's times where players, they don't play as well under the big time pressure as well as other players. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying that that's anyone on this Oklahoma pitching staff or any of the newcomers or anything, but I think that Patty Gasso is probably going to have to wait a couple weeks to see what she really has with everyone and how she wants to use them.
Yeah, and Sydney, I agree with you. SJ having a big year. SJ's changeup, it may be the best. I'm pretty sure it's the best on the staff. Her changeup is unreal, and I do expect big things from her. Brian, I would change one word here, Brian. A sure thing is never. There's no sure things in sports, and Patty Gasso would tell you that. The kind of the stress, the emotion, the just a lot of last year's stuff. It was difficult. There are difficult stages, and sure thing makes it seems easy. And I think if we said it's a sure thing, we're also doing a disservice to what they're doing there at the University of Oklahoma.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Kelly Maxwell in pressure situation at Oklahoma? Are you concerned at all that if she gets in a big game with a lot of pressure? I mean, no. I'm just asking.
No, I will say no because she's used to being the ace, right? At Oklahoma State, this was a team that was not that far off of the World Series 2 years ago with Kelly Maxwell. Defensively, if they don't blow that game against Florida State, there's a chance they're playing Oklahoma in the National Championship Series a couple years ago. And Kelly Maxwell, right, she was the best player on the Oklahoma State team. So obviously she's played on the big stage. And, I'm not too worried about it because Kelly Maxwell, right, she's not going to have as much pressure at Oklahoma to be the ace like she had at Oklahoma State. But she's going to have the pressure to perform because she's at a place like Oklahoma.
I mean, it's arguable that the pressure that she has at OU will actually be more than what she had at OSU because it's a different stage. It's a different animal. And what I'm going to say, though, is what she didn't have at OSU, and I don't care if the OSU coach heard this anyway. I wouldn't care. The ladies around her, what they have going on in OU and the culture stuff, Patty Gasso, what she gets from her athletes and what she expects, I think decreases some anxiety and pressure because she knows that she's surrounded by people who love her, who are there, who are in the same battle. Whereas at OSU, she was kind of the one and almost like she was separated. So I would say that while the moment may be bigger, I think she'll be better ready for it because of what they do there at OU.
Who are the top 3 pitchers on this staff? Rank them 1, 2, 3.
Man, that's hard, Jay.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Do you want me or Jeremy to go first?
Jackson, go. Who's got top 3?
I'm going to go the 3 M's. May, Maxwell, Monticelli.
That's what I was going to say, May, Maxwell.
But Kirsten Deal's amazing. So
I think I would go May, Maxwell, Deal. And
I think Kirsten Deal has the highest ceiling out of anyone on this staff.
Yeah, and hey, Ron says, do you think she'll be the ace? I don't think Kelly Maxwell's the ace. I don't know if they're going to have an ace. Just like I don't know if they're going to have
who would be the ace, Jimmy? Answer it.
Nicole May.
You think May?
I don't think there's going to be an ace. Brian, that would be too good, man, to that song to be rocking at Love Field. I'm so excited about loves field, man.
It sounds like it'll be ready, except
This
they're going
weather, though, dude. This weather.
Well, I heard they're going to do a soft opening in March, and then there's some other stuff to be completed on it, but they can at least
First game is March 1st there.
Correct.
March 1st. Do they have any home games planned before March 1st?
No.
Okay,
That's
the first game they're going to play there is March 1st.
Who's getting flow softball? Anyone?
Flow softball. I'm not a fan
for it.
Not a fan of flow, but at least you get to watch the game. But
you think this team has more homers this year than last year overall?
I would say yes.
I think so too, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things I think they'll have more of this year: home runs and stolen bases.
Agreed.
That's what I would say. Appreciate the balloons. Whoever did the balloons there.
Yeah, who sent the balloons? That was sweet.
That was sick. Yeah.
Now,
This
Sydney,
is an absolute great question from Sydney Greenstreet.
Sydney brings great stuff all the time.
Yeah. Does anyone think Dill or Monticelli might be redshirted? I would say no to Dill for sure because she didn't play a whole lot last year.
I don't think Monticelli.
And I think if they're going to redshirt anybody,
Guerin, right? SJ.
No, SJ
redshirted last year. It can't be SJ. I don't think they're going to redshirt. I don't think they redshirt any of them. That's my opinion. I just don't think they will.
I mean, after this year, you lose Maxwell and May.
Yeah,
correct.
And what about Keeney?
Keeney's gone too. So,
but I don't think they're going to redshirt. No way, Dill or Monticelli.
No. So if you think about it, year one in the SEC, you have Monticelli, Dill, Guerin, and whoever you bring in this.
Yeah, they got coming in good too.
SJ Guerin already redshirted.
Yeah, SJ told us on the podcast that she redshirted. Yeah, she redshirts and sat with Rocha and learned a lot. Yeah. So there's no chance she is, and I don't think Dill is. The only way I could see it happen is if one of them got injured before the year, and they may miss some of the season. Just go ahead and redshirt, right? That would be the only way in my opinion. But that's a good question though. Now look at the rest of the team on red shirts. Is there anybody that could redshirt? Somebody like Maya Bland, Ella Park, anybody like that you think would redshirt?
There's a strong possibility they redshirt one of the true freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be Pickering, tell you that.
Not going to be Pickering, and I don't think it's going to be Ella Parker. Ella Parker's swing is smooth as butter.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll redshirt any of those either. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, let's remember you got
maybe Nellie Mack. Nellie Mack.
Maybe it's hard. Yeah, SG had an injury last year. That's right, Brian.
Wrist, wasn't it? Wasn't it a wrist injury? Hand or wrist injury? Ron says saw the Parker girl from
Alyssa Parker's really good.
Yeah, actually, her team, I guess they won a pretty good sized tournament.
Alyssa Parker's really good at both sports. You're right, Ron. Really good at both sports.
Pretty good basketball player too.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see on the pitching side how they roll it out there.
Jay, imagine she was a two-sport athlete at the University of Oklahoma. She went to hoop for Jenny Bronchek and then came over to play for Patty Gasso.
That'd be nice. I mean, but you don't see it that often. One thing we haven't talked about yet on this live is the stolen bases, and we've talked about it in some videos we've done. I really think this year is going to be a lot different on the base pads. I think they are going to make it a mentality of trying to steal bags. I do. I think that's going to be a thing for them this year, and they're going to put that on their list of things they want to accomplish. And I think stolen bases and increased stolen bases on the base pads is going to be a big time thing for them this year. Sounds like from their strength and conditioning coach.
And Brian thinks Jada gets in the 2020 club.
Hey,
I think there's another one that could. I think Tiare Jennings could get there. Tiare's faster than people think, but Jada would be the clear-cut favorite to get 2020. Riley Boone won't be 2020 because she's not hitting 20 dingers, but she'll have 20 stolen bases probably. I mean, outside of Jada Coleman, Hannah Core, I don't expect to hit 20 dingers, but she can move around the base pads, and she showed some pop.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ron. Love that. They haven't had the need to. And who knows if they really have the need to this year, but maybe that's something they're going to want to experiment with and try. I mean, it sounds like just talking to him that's what they're really focusing on is the speed in the off season. So we'll see how that happens. But what about? Let me get here. TRA.
TRA.
Oh, TRA.
Yeah. TRA. Yeah. Yeah, you know, guys,
Hey,
I think it's also.
Yeah, go ahead, Jackson.
I was gonna say, I really do think there's so much really okay, I wouldn't say question marks, but there's just so much question about how Patty Gasso is gonna use so many of these pieces. Right? Because
she always figures it out though.
No, no. I'm not saying that because trust me, all Patty does is win natties. So I know she's gonna figure it out. But I just think it's unique to see the versatility that Oklahoma has on their team this year, because I don't remember a team in which they've been 6 or 7 deep on the pitching staff, in which there's between probably 12 to 14 players you're talking about that have the opportunity to start in several different spots. I mean, they're just that deep across the board.
Hey,
well, and look at their batting lineup, guys. Let's just say, for instance, they went Brito at short, Torres at third, Pickering in right, or Hannacore in right, Pickering as EH. Okay, you're talking your 6, 7, and 8 hitters are, before Boone are going to be players like Hannacore, Pickering. I mean, maybe. I mean, they got Brito, Torres. I mean, they got a lot of bats. I mean, really good bats and powerful bats.
Listen, it's a fact. This team, on paper, is better than last year's team. Listen, throughout the lineup, even defensively, they're going to be really good too. The only question mark was the fact that Jordy Ball was gone. But
look at who they lost hitting wise. Grace Lyons.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Erickson,
they lost
Ball and Erickson. I mean,
yeah. I
mean, this team's better than last year's team. Last year's team lost the game.
Agreed. Now, what you would think the ones that had clutch hits last year are going to do the same. They've done it their whole career. Players like Kenzie Hansen, Jada Coleman, Riley Boone, they're all back. Burrito. I mean, so and look at this. Yeah, Carly Kinney is very good. Sydney says Tiari needs 23 home runs to take over second place in career home runs for college softball over Lauren Chamberlain. Hey, she'll get it, in my opinion.
And that's her number too. She's
and look at that number, 23. Exactly. Yeah. I think she'll get it. And I said in a video last week that when we did a video on Tiare, I think she's going to be the captain, and I'm going to stick with my guns. And we can talk about captains and who it's going to be and when they're going to make this announcement. It's got to be pretty soon. I'm going with Tiare. If they name one captain, I'm going with Tiare Jennings.
Yeah, I'm going Kenzie Hansen if it was one captain chosen.
I'm going Jada Coleman.
So we all got 3 different. I'd love to see y'all's comments in the chat.
Hey,
Sydney, Brian, chat, drop them in there who you think will be if there's one captain.
Also, drop in who you think. If Gasso chose one captain, which we don't know if she's going to, who would that captain be? And Hunter's going to put in the chat again the Sooner Surge Unlimited membership. I want to say this to softball viewers that are on this. We do cover OU softball, and I'm not here to say it's better than anyone else's, but I will say that we cover OU softball probably as much as anyone else last year, our first year doing this, and we're ramping it up more this year. You can become a Sooner Surge Unlimited member. It's $4.99 a month, but it gets you in a softball Discord with all of us, all this group of Sooner Surge community together. We'll be in a Discord where we can chat during the games. That gets you that for $4.99 a month, and you get videos released to you early and other perks. But there it is. Click the link, and you can click the link to join the Discord. Would love to have you on that, and so we can talk 24/7 about OU softball.
And if you remember, we didn't start softball coverage because we didn't start this channel till March. I mean, it was late spring, so we really ramped it up during the postseason. But we're going to have nightly after games, lives. There's going to be a lot going on, and would love just the community of softball fans to be able to chat with. I think it's fun. I think it's great to chat with community here, and let's get 4 in a row. I mean, that's what everyone wants, and let's get it. Let's see it happen.
Hey, Brian, Hunter just put the link in the chat, and maybe Hunter can get it to you. He says he wants the link. So, yeah, you can do that, and then you'll be on the Discord too. But, yeah, Jay, other question marks. Again, I can't use the word question mark, but I'm going to ask something that's probably going to not be liked. JT Gasso is promoted today to associate head coach. You know what is about the question that I'm going to ask?
I think I know what's coming.
How many more years is Patty Gasso going to do this?
I think 2.
Because 4 is a record. 4 is a record if they win it.
I think 2 more years max, in my opinion.
If they win the Natty this year, I think she retires. But if they don't win the Natty, I think she comes back for 1 more year.
Ron's asked if Patty's been on the show. No, I've tried to get Patty on the show. You know, we've had a lot. We've had Chris Plank. We've had a lot of this 24 signees on, 25 signees. Haven't got Patty on. Had Torres on last year. So we're trying. We're trying.
Yeah. We also had on Monticelli.
And Hey, Hunter, I'm not saying she doesn't have anything left in the tank. I just wonder how long she'd want to do it. Because
I'll tell you, Brian just answered it, and Brian's 100% right. We know the faith in Christ is kind of what drives her. Not kind of, it is. When God tells her to stop coaching, she will stop. She'll know when it's the time.
Yeah, and it's a lot on her, too. I mean, time-wise, when you start having everything that goes along with family, we'll see how long. I'm saying 2 years max. That's my opinion. Obviously, she wanted to play a couple years, I think, in this new stadium and all that.
Well, they go to the SEC next year.
Here's the thing, though. Look who they lose this year.
That's my point. She could win the 4th in a row, which would be unheard of, unmatched, never happened, and right out in the sunset. And then I think JT would be the next coach.
I agree with that.
JT.
I don't think that's a question on who the next coach will be.
There will be a Gasso still coaching OU. That's
Agreed.
For sure.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Brian says 2 to 3 years seems reasonable. I think most people would say that. I don't think anybody's going to get on here and say 5-6 years. I just don't. I don't think that would happen. So it might, but I just don't think people are leaning that way.
Yeah, we didn't get to see a lot of Maya Bland, guys.
I do have a question for you two, though.
Yeah.
If Patty wins another Natty this year, well, where does she rank among all-time coaches in all of college athletics? Where is Patty placed?
Well, I thought last year with this win streak they have and everything they got going on, I mean, I'm putting her in the same categories of coaches like Gino Auriemma
and Nick
Saban. I mean, I think you put her at the top. She's at the top of the list with those people. She is.
For what she's done to her program, she's got to be top 3, top 4. Ron, yeah, you're right, Ron, because we know how woke ESPN is. That's true across the board, really, with ESPN and a lot of the major networks. Hey, and look, there's probably a lot of people say they don't care for it either, but the athletes care for it. The staff cares for it. OU supports it.
Well, I mean, we all have
I
seen
love it.
We all have seen the stand that CJ Stroud is starting to take now, and
well, we also saw what NBC did on that.
Yeah, how they cut out stuff out of the interview. That's what I was going to.
Yeah, and hey, ask the recruits. It's also a big part of the community that she's built there at Oklahoma, and people coming to play for her. It's a big time deal. The faith aspect of it, and Sydney says she cannot consider Patty to go until she passes Andrea for the most natties, and that's true. I mean, you want to say greatest of all time, but she's in the consideration right now, Sydney, and that's what I think what we're talking about. She's top 5 overall in college athletics, probably.
No one's won 4 straight.
Now, getting the most natties, I think that would just solidify it all. I agree, Sydney.
Hey, which is how many, Jay? How many does she need to pass?
Is it 6 or 7? Sydney would know. Sydney would know probably off the top of her head.
6 or 7.
You're right. CJ Stroud's awesome, and just kind of his platform.
I love CJ Stroud. Yeah, he's great.
Sydney, what is it, 7?
I thought Andrea had 7. I may be totally wrong.
Who is Andrea exactly? I'm not.
I mean, I think how many's Patty got right now, Jay?
8. Andrea's A.
Mike Andrea. Okay, now I know.
Yeah, A.
So, I mean,
I thought it was
realistically, Patty could give it how many more years and get that? Because she's probably going to win one every year she coaches.
It's true.
I mean, you can't say she's going to win one every year.
I said probably.
Probably, but you can't say for sure. I mean, so I don't know. Yeah, there you go. 7 on display. So 2 more years.
Yeah.
So
and maybe she wins one this year and wants to
maybe
win
she's
one
sticking
the
around
first
to
year
try
in
to
the
do
SEC.
that. Maybe she's sticking around to try to do that.
Oh, I'm sure it's on her radar, Jay.
Yeah, trust me, I'm sure she knows.
Is this Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson, Ron?
I think it's both because Michael Jackson was the king of music and Michael Jordan king of basketball.
I can't put Patty and Michael Jackson in the same sentence. Sorry.
No. So, hey, listen, I do want to say that appreciate everyone that was on there. We just wanted to do a 30-minute live today to really touch base with the softball community because it's been a while, honestly. But super excited about 17 days from now when the Sooners get started. We will have it all. Coverage before the game, coverage after the game, talking with you guys. You guys are great. You know your OU softball stuff. But, again, Hunter's going to drop that link in here if you want to join with the Sooner Surge Unlimited membership. Appreciate you being on this. And we'll do this again probably a couple of weeks from now, a week before the season. We also have some videos that'll be coming out and dropping with some preseason award type videos. So we'll make sure that you guys get that. But appreciate you. Join the link if you would like. Thanks for being on here today. Till next time. Boomer.
Sooner.